Oh, hi guys. Hi everyone. Yeah, all right guys. Let us start our session. Right, and let me open the notepad. All right guys. And wherever yesterday, if I'm not wrong, we are discussing about, we discussed about libraries, right? We started our discussion with the libraries, if I'm not wrong. So this is important part guys, right? So whoever is going to work in Python, right? Sorry, yeah. Now guys, can you please stop? All right. So, and whoever is going to work in Python, guys, at some point we're going to work with libraries. At some point we're going to work with libraries. Even in college days, right? We worked with we had learned C language, right? But hardly we can remember like 10 libraries at max. But if I'm not wrong, even I'm from the same background, but even it's the same thing for me, right, guys? But coming to Python, guys, it's not the way that we have seen now. So when you really start working, guys, so Dharani, I'm not sure. Guys, am I audible for all? So Dharani is saying that I'm not audible. I'm not sure, guys. So hope my voice is audible for all. So Dharani, cross check it over end. So what went wrong? All right, guys. Yep. Thanks. But coming to libraries, guys, they're really important. At some point, whatever you do, so right, like we're going to work with libraries. So basically there are two types of libraries. One is built-ins and third parties. So what do you mean by built-in libraries? So these are installed with the Python. These are installed with the Python. So we don't install anything separately, guys. So when you install Python, so right with Anaconda, so we are going to get almost 8,000 libraries. So 8,000 libraries which are used. So basically guys, even when you install Python from this, if you see guys, like sometimes even I do just type the code here, so just like it is more readable. This is the actual tool, so we get from when we install Python from this website. So when you install Python from this website, we are going to get this tool. Oops, let me disable the annotation, guys. I'm not sure why you guys play, so let me clear it. Yep. All right, yes, thanks. Right, and this is a tool, yes, like this is the basic tool. So for writing the code, and we get this tool from python.org. So if you go to downloads, and the latest version currently available in the market is Python 3.8. So right, and if you go to view the full list of downloads, you can find all the older versions, right, like this. So all right, guys, you can click on any of the version, right, and you can download this. So this it's not required for you guys. Why? Because we already have uncode in our system, in our systems, right? So, but this is the core. This is less to Notepad, guys, right? So, but if you write the code here, you don't get the feel that you're doing some sort of programming. But this is the basic tool that we get with the Python programming, right? But this tool is not required for us. Why? Because we already had this spider. So right, guys, this if you want me to compare, guys, Sankit, I'll talk about that. Sankit, it's not much required now. So right, let us talk about that. Focus on this. What I'm saying. You're not going to give 30 degrees there. First focus, right? So we're going to give some kind of like value, but it's not degrees. Okay, first you can just debug that. It's not an issue at all. Let first focus on this. What I'm saying. All right, guys. Yeah. And what I'm saying is like this is the core that is ideal, right? It's called as ideal. So which is the basic that comes with python.org. But in the real time, guys, I don't use this kind of tools. So right, this is just like some sort of notepad, guys. This is some sort of notepad, right? Even you don't get the feel that you're writing some programming. If you want me to compare, guys, I can compare this with the Java. So when you install Java, guys, right, we don't get Eclipse, right? So if you just simply install Java in our systems, you write the code in Notepad, right? And when you have the Eclipse, then you can write the code in the Eclipse, if I'm not wrong. The same thing, guys. This is just like the core programming, right? But in the even we can write the code here, guys. It's everything is fine, but even like we don't feel that like debugging, we don't have much of options for debugging. Look at this idea and this idea, how different it is. All right, guys. Right. The reason for saying this, yeah. So you're going to get from this Python nodes, but it's not required, guys. So when you install Anaconda, you are going to get Python by default. All right, guys. And I'm talking about libraries, right? And basically, like you have built-ins and third parties. So coming about built-ins, when you install Anaconda, you are going to get all these built-ins. So mainly used in the area of machine learning, mainly used in the area of some machine learning, right? But apart from this, the regularly used ones. And coming to third parties, what do you mean by third party libraries? Depending on the requirement, what type of requirement, guys, right? It depends on your requirement. I don't have any straightforward answer for this. Sometimes either you're going to work in DB programming, sometimes in Excel programming, sometimes you use Python to interact with the cloud, that can be AWS or GCP. The GCP stands for Google Cloud, right? And then even OCI, so Oracle Cloud Infra, that can be anything, whatever the cloud is, right? Using Python, you can connect to that cloud for automation purpose. So network programming, right? You can connect using Python, you can connect from one server to other server. So web development, it is one of the hottest area in the market, like using Python, you can design web pages, right, guys? And in the area of machine learning, this is like my cup of tea, right? In the area of machine learning, data analytics, so depending on the requirement, right? Depending on the specific requirement, so developer has to install the third-party library from the site called so pip.org or using pip tool. So pip is what that comes along with the Python. We'll talk about this today. All right. So or using is underscore install, right? And then this is what we have seen yesterday. Importing library, right? How to import library? So the straightforward approach we prefer to write. Why? Because it has more visibility. Import math and math dot like this. So, all right. So in coming to this, the other way of importing is like assume that, guys, your library has like 1,000 methods, but you are just using only one method. Your library may have 10 methods, 1,000 methods, even like it depends, right? It depends on the library. But assume that, guys, like you're just using only one method out of like 1,000 methods. So then it's meaningless to import all everything, right? So then I'll be writing like this: from math library, from math import only this. That's it. All right, guys. So since like we're importing only required methods, we don't use dot. Dot is not required. So dot is not required. All right. So and then importing with alias name. So nothing but shortcut, guys. So what is the meaning of alias name? Like something like our pet name, guys, right? So instead of like calling with this, I'm going to use this. So what is the advantage, guys? So if your libraries will be a little bit lengthy, the names of libraries are lengthy. All right. So for that reason, like I'll be using like this. Anything is fine. It depends. It's our on our comfortness. That's it. So right. And then like I talked about libraries, guys. I just made a note of all these things. Even I've shared the notes yesterday, right? In the GitHub, I have given the link as well. So I guess like you've gone through that, right? And in day-to-day activities, guys, at some point we'll be using all these libraries at some point. So voice is most important library, even in from interview point of view, the ones like who are preparing for interviews. So the questions are generally asked like how do you list all the files, like how to display date and time, all these things. So right, and shutil, it stands for shell utilities, guys. So it has all the functions like copy, all the methods like copy, move, remove, tree, and all. If you want to download something from this, like a URL broad request, right? And math for all the mathematical operations, random. So normally, guys, when you do some kind of even on shopping or banking or online banking, at some point you get OTP code, right? So right, like you get some 4 or 6 digit random number for a randomized number of methods. Yes, calendar is rarely used, right? But so we may not be using this, but some others might be using this. All right. So and SMTP lib guys, like for in the real time guys, right? We normally get auto generated mails, even like for your Gmails guys, right? It's not like only friends are going to send you mail. Anyone can send the mail, right? And the most of the mails will be auto generated mails. The mails will be triggered from someone automatically, so based on the time, so and so. So in the real time guys, with the library called SMTP lib, so where we can send the mails, where we can send the mails. Auto, right? I can or if it trigger the script in the Linux guys, like in the Linux where the command called as mailx, some mail, or in the Linux, I'm talking about Linux, right? In the Linux we have the command called as mail, and we have one more command called as mailx for triggering the mails. So it's same purpose, right? The way like mailx work in Linux, and coming to Python, like SMT lib for sending the mails. This thing is I cannot demonstrate here. So why? Because I need to have SMTP library, which is available only in our productions, right? In the production servers, and FTP lib for transferring the files. And right in the networking is like you listen all these terms FTP, so telnet, right, guys? And what is the difference between FTP and like even like your library called SSH lib? So what is the difference between FTP and SSH, guys? Right, in networking or at some point like we might have studied this, right? FTP and SSH. So what is the difference between FTP and SSH? So most generally asked question like for the freshers mainly in interviews. So what is FTP and then so what is SSH in general? Right, it's not about the definition. FTP, yes, it's file transfer protocol, but what exactly it is? So normally guys, the data will not be encrypted. So right, to the whatever, like assume that if I type something in WhatsApp, like it will be automatically like anyone can hack that in general. I'm not talking about WhatsApp, this in general. So that direct message will be text, right? We know that like if you type some text, it gets converted to bytes, but that's it, guys. It will not be encrypted. And coming to SSH, it is secure shell. So all it is secure, it is secured. Example is WhatsApp, right? Or like some other tool. So whatever we type, it will be secured. So what do you mean by secured, guys? It will be encrypted, and then at the other end it will be decrypted. It will be decrypted, guys. All right. And coming to other logging is, see, in the real time, guys, we normally log all the actions. Right, logging is nothing but like just like some kind of log. So whatever we do, like we're going to just log all the actions. Right. Even in the Java, like we have logger, right? Like we have different tools in Java as well. So and coming to SHUtil, right? I think it's like given that once again. And comparing directories, assume that like you want to compare two directories or two files. And this is for creating the files. So for creating tar files or creating zip or tar. What is tar, guys? TAR is a Linux command basically, right? So for creating the archives in Linux. But even in the Windows, using WinZip or WinRAR, even you can extract, like we can extract this. So all it is, and reading certain files like I have JSON, and so for reading CSV, like I have CSV, which we have already seen this, right? And for reading XML, I have the library called XML. If you want to go for more of system data, system config. If you want to if you want to work more with the dictionaries, I have the library called collections. All right. So in arg parser, like these things, guys, like a few things, if I tell or talk about this at this point also, so may not be able to understand, right? I'm not talking about this. So in coming to date and time, right? So what is a Linux command to work with the date and time, guys? So what is a Linux command to work with date? How to display the date command in Linux? Date is the command, right? And coming to Python, guys, you can do like lot of other actions. Like I can get yesterday's date, I can get tomorrow's date, so I can get might be next week's date. I can get all, assume that today is right. I want to just get all the dates from 1st September to like 17th September. I can get, so everything is like for doing all this sort of data operations, like we have data and time two libraries. In cryptography, like for encrypting and decrypting, right? And gzip, just like zip file and tar file or the rad file, I have one more library called as gzip. Gunzip, gzip stands for the gunzip files. And RA is one of the most important library. So for validations, generally asked interviews, I'll talk about this today. in for validations of IP address. If you want to know about more of your system platform, so right, it's about more of your system of your platform. For multi-threading, multi-processing, like we have different libraries like threading and multi-processing. It's simple, guys. Threading and multi-processing it's pretty simple in Python. It's not much hard in Java. So right, like in Java. And coming to sub-process, like for invoking system commands. Again, guys, I don't say that like you have to mug up all these things, but just like go to your understanding is like in more it is built in. I can explain five libraries, 10, 20, 30, right? Like we bought hundreds of libraries, but you really gain knowledge when you start working on this. That's for sure. So it's either for me or for you, that is same purpose, right, guys? And then coming to third parties. So third parties and built-ins, no difference, guys. But only third parties are out. They're not available by default. They're not available by default in your system. So if you want to cross-check, guys, so just like take PyMySQL, so and go to your console and cross-check. So just type import and just type PyMySQL. So everyone, guys, just cross-check this. So everyone just cross check, just type like this import and PyMySQL. I cannot zoom this, guys. I'm not sure, right? But you can hope you're able to see this. I can zoom this programming pen, but not this pen. I cannot. So, but you can just cross check and type and let me know the output what you are going to get. So just type import PyMySQL and cross check the output and do let me know what exactly you got. So everyone, guys, just guys, hope I'm audible, right? So what I'm asking is, so just type this in our console and cross check and let me know the output. So right, guys, hope it is the same for all. So what I'm asking is just type this, right? Import PyMySQL. So it's the library for MySQL, to which we'll be talking either today or tomorrow. So just cross check, guys. So why? Because it is not available in your system. It is not available in your system. But I had in my system like I got empty prompt. So import OS is a built-in library. You're going to get empty prompt. Import math empty prompt. So right, but coming to PyMySQL, and you are going to get module, right? So what, right? Module not found error. So right, wrong is. So I'm talking about this now, like we have seen, just like the worry of building libraries, and so frequently is third parties. Yes, I cannot like we have thousands of libraries, right? Lakhs of libraries, and I cannot mention everything. But depending on the topic, depending on the so domain, like we have different libraries, DB related. So this is for MySQL. If you want to interact with MySQL, so I have the library called so PyMySQL, right? If you want to interact with Oracle, so right, Oracle is a library, right? And Mongo database. Mongo is non-relational database, like so MongoDB. All right, guys. And similarly, this is for Microsoft SQL Server for SQL Server. Like we have different libraries for the different databases. So all right, guys. And then coming to web development, if you're interested in web development, guys, we have different libraries like Django, Flask, and all. So which has a lot of weightage in the market currently. Right, and coming to analytics, in the area of analytics, guys, like NumPy, SciPy, right? So NumPy is just like our school level matrix operations, guys. If you remember, in the school level, like the way like we used to do like matrix operations, like it has same. NumPy stands for numerical Python. SciPy in the college days, guys, you might be using the scientific calculator, if I'm not wrong. So right, wrong, guys. So what is the difference between normal and scientific calculator? Scientific calculator contains like set of formulas, right, wrong, guys. So which are not available in the normal calculator. And SIP is for the same purpose. So Pandas is for processing, data cleaning, data wrangling, so data preparation, so everything. Right? Yes. So the one who posted in the YouTube, guys, yes, and you will be getting that error. Why? Because that is not available. So that library is not available in a system, right? We have to install that. I will see that how to install that. All right. So and then in there, image processing is we have different libraries. So right, REST APIs. right? Like just if I take each and every library, guys, I can talk at least like 1 hour on each and every library. So it takes a lot of time, guys. But right, maintenance is just to get the overview first of all, so that you can so play with this later. In the like, if you want to like read and write something to the Excel file, right? And like we have this in the ref networking is like, if you ask any if your cousins or brothers or sisters, so working as in like system admin or like even right a Linux admin or DBA, so if they're into automation, they'll working with this kind of libraries. So interacting with the remote servers, Paromiko, Netmiko. If you want to do some FTP, right? If you want to ping some server, if there is one IP, so normally I ping manually, right? Like if there is one IP, like I normally ping it manually, like something like this ping, and taking some IP, and then I'll ping this like this. So alright, guys. But assume that you want to ping hundreds of servers. Do you think it's practically possible to ping each and every server? So no, right? So then we need to automate that. So we automate this with this library. Like this, with different libraries, guys, depending on the context. Right. For ethical hacking, we don't have any specific, but like we'll be using few of these. Right, Kalyan. It's in ethical hackers, like they use different mechanisms. It's not about like they don't do only the coding. They do a lot of, even I'm not much into that, but it's not about the programming, right? And like this, like we have different libraries, guys. And now let us see like one example. Say like right, when you have imported like this, right? If you go to this MySQL, and if you type import, sorry, if you go to this Anaconda, and if you type PyMySQL, you got some error, right? So how to remove that error, guys? So in the start menu, now in the start menu, so in the Anaconda 3 folder, can you check with something called as Anaconda prompt? In the Anaconda, everyone, guys, everyone, please do the activity along with me in the Anaconda 3 folder. So right, so open this screen. So open the Anaconda prompt. So open this Anaconda prompt. So open this Anaconda prompt. All right. So open this. There's a question from Naresh. Say PySFTP. So that is nothing but doing some FTP to the remote machine. You want to connect to the remote server. So right, like using FTP, like we connect for copying the files. All right. Question from Tulsi. So for cloud, like we're different level, I'll just make a note of that. All right. And guys, everyone please open this Anaconda prompt and please respond with this so that I can understand. So right, just open this Anaconda prompt. Right. So what is the reason, guys? Like, see, I have this library and I got empty prompt. But in your system, guys, it is not available, right? Now let us try to install this and cross check once again. All right, guys. I hope like you open this Anaconda prompt again. So where do you get this? In the start menu? Check for in the should be able to check, see this, right? And just like check for Anaconda prompt. So open this, guys. Everyone please do this activity along with me. So right, please do this activity along with me. So and just respond, guys, if you open this Anaconda prompt. So everyone, and then guys, since like we install, we already had Python installed. So just type now. I want to install this. Right? Simply type pip install, and the name of the library is PyMySQL. So pip install, and the name of the library is PyMySQL. Right? Cross check, guys. Like we will be getting it is getting downloaded. So for me, I'm going to get that it is already satisfied, but you cross check in our systems. So right, you are going to get some empty. Right. So I uninstall this. So let me do this once again. Pip install and the name of library. If you do like this, let me increase the font for the time being. So all it guys. So now you should be able to see the same thing, like what exactly I'm getting, right? So from where it is getting installed, guys, it is getting downloaded from the net, from the internet. So it's not from your local machine. So it's not in a local machine, guys, right? We should be able to cross check this. So this is a command pip install and the name of library. It is same process. It's same thing, is it's not something great or something new. So all right, guys, nothing much, Naresh. So what I'm saying is like now, like right, when you cross check this, it is not available in your systems, right? So none of our systems has this library. Why? Because this is a third party library. Now say you want to install this library. How to install that? Open Anaconda Prompt. Open Anaconda Prompt and type pip and install is a command. Pip install is a command. And what is the name of library that you're looking for? PyMySQL. And hit enter, guys. We should be able to like see this so that it has been installed. So right, guys, if you want to uninstall this, so the way like you install, right, you can simply in the place of install you can write uninstall. If you, but normally guys in the prod we don't uninstall, it's not required. So why? Because it doesn't take much of the space, so it's not a big deal. If you don't use also, that's okay. All right. And if you want to install this, pip install and the name of library. So pip install and the name of library. And guys, again, don't assume that, don't be in assumption that so everything will be installed properly, guys. In the real time, will be having a lot of challenges. So we'll be having a lot of challenges, right? Right. So with most of the libraries will be installed, guys. Some may not be, even it depends, right? So always try to check some successful message. Always try to check for some successful message. All right. So what is the advantage, guys? Like why? Because if your libraries are only meant for Linux. If you try to install that in Windows, it will throw error. So if you are only meant for Windows, but if you try to install that in the Mac, it will throw error. So right, and few libraries are only meant for so Windows 10, for example. So few libraries are only meant for Windows 8 or Windows 7. But if you install that in Windows, like say XP, like might be few will be using that, right? In general, it will throw error, guys. So always ensure that you got this, and you can ignore this, guys. It is nothing much. It is just like a warning. So asking us to upgrade. If you upgrade, that's okay. If you don't upgrade, also that is okay. Just like you have to copy this, you have to execute this. That's it, guys. Nothing much in this. It's just a warning. That's it. If you don't do also, that's okay. So, but this is important. All right, guys. Hope this is clear at what I'm saying. All right, guys. And the things that you have to remember here is, normally, guys, in general. So, for example, say like you're trying to install library X. So in the real time, guess what happens? See, in this example, it doesn't have any dependencies. Right, it's just independent standalone library. Sometimes X will be depending on Y. So Y will be depending on Z. Z will be depending on A and B. I'm talking about libraries, guys. Assume that so this is a library. So library X is depending on Y. So library Y is depending. So it means that if you have to install X, I need to install Y before before than that, right? If you install Y, I need to install that. So Z is already installed. In order to install Z, I need to ensure that A is already installed. Now, guys, like pip tool, it does automatically. So what is the advantage of pip or just like pip? So we have one more library called as easy underscore install. So both are same. So right, just like the pip, we have one more library called as easy underscore install. Anything is fine, guys. So pip or easy underscore install. So anything is fine. So what it does, so it will install all the dependencies automatically. So it will install. So all the dependencies manual, nothing much to bother about. Pip is easy, guys. So all the dependencies, it will install all the dependencies. So right, so what does pip do? So in order to install X, it will like so here, guys, like we don't have, since we don't have any dependencies. So right, nothing happened. But sometimes like if you have some big libraries, huge libraries, so X will be then it will try to install Y automatically. So Y again has a dependence on Z. What will happen? So now like since this is endpoints, so this will be installed first, and then this will be installed second. So and then third, so and then fourth, like this. So all right, guys. So this is about that. We don't know nothing to bother anything else. So everything is taken care by pip. So it will install all the dependencies. It will install all the dependencies. Right, guys? Hope this is clear for all what I'm saying. So all right, guys. And it is a way to install a third-party library, guys. Even the ones like if you're finally is. So these questions are generally asked interviews like how to install third-party library. So how do we check? Right. That's fine. That's just an warning, Anujot. That's fine. So right, but generally, so most of the times we'll be using only pip install only. Most of the times, all right. But currently it is working. Might be in the other versions, upcoming versions, they may be removed. But it works in general. It is not an issue. But normally, as I told you, so use pip install. All right, guys. And even interpoint of also these things are important. So the one who just asked about the cloud is like cloud related libraries. So like normally guys, in the college days, you might have trained in AWS, or like you might have heard about cloud, right? Even cloud computing is one of the subject in general. So in the cloud, like we in the market, the latest are one is AWS. Second one is right for AWS guys, the library is called as Boto 3. So we have the library called Boto 3. So this is for Amazon AWS, Amazon Cloud. In similar like we have library called as Azure, right? This is for Microsoft Azure. So right, Microsoft Azure. So all it is. So and then like similarly like we have something called as OCI. So we know that Oracle is popular for the database, but other than the Oracle database, it has some hundreds of tools. So this is for Oracle Cloud. So this is for Oracle Cloud. All right. So in GCP, where the library called is GCP. So this is for Google Cloud. So whatever you do in the cloud, guys, by logging to the dashboard, I can do everything at the back end using this libraries, Google Cloud. So like this, guys, each and every library has its own, each and every so cloud has its own different libraries. Hope this is clear. So normally, guys, taking each library, I can spend at least a day of time. So I do work and I do go for the corporate trainings. Yes. So my trainings will be like if you have 3 days of session, so only day one I'll be just talking about the core programming, right? And day 2, day 3 I'll be talking about only this library. So nothing else, guys, nothing, no database, nothing. So that's the power of these libraries. So a lot of things will be there to explain, guys, but you can enjoy with this. So database like the one like I already mentioned here, can just like have a look at that. All right, guys. And now guys, let's talk about even like I can just refer my notes like I've given the libraries which are generally used. All right. So and guys, let's talk about the built-ins and third parties. So right. All right, guys. Yeah. So what is the Linux command to list all the files? So what is the Linux command to list all the files? I want to display all the files in Linux. So ls, right? Ls or LTR, guys. Like even if you're interested, guys, you no need to have the Linux machine. Like we have number of Windows tools itself. So where like we can practice Linux without having virtual machine. So this is just for information, guys. This is just for information. So a number of tools. This is my Linux box, right? This is my Linux box. So right, and like ls-ltr. So it will display all the list of files. So in my current path. So all right, guys. So like this. And what I mean to say is ls minus or like simple ls command. It will list all the files in the current directory. And let us see like how to do that programmatically. Import OS. So right. And what is my current working directory, guys? In the Linux, how do I check what's my current directory? So it is pwd. And coming to Python. So right, it is os dot get cwd, get current working directory. So it will display. So just let me save this. All right, JNTU. Yep, yeah. PWD in the Linux, and coming to Python is it's os.getcwd. So right, so it is os.getcwd. Okay, you can cross check my output, right? So right, currently I'm in this folder. Currently I'm in this folder. In the Linux, guys, what is the Linux command to know the current username? So we have some command called as who am I. So if you want to know the current username in the Linux, guys, so I have the command called as who am I, or who is what it of course it's not there, but here it is not there. But in general, guys, who am I is a command. It will display the current. This is my username, right? And coming to Python, guys, like we have something called as so os dot so get login. So it will display the current username. So you can just check here. You can check the output, guys. It will display current username. So current username. So it will display the current username. All I guess. So os dot get login, current username, and this is my current working directory. It is my current working directory. So current directory. This is my current directory, current working directory. All I guess like this. So a number of things, guys. But how you might be getting some question, guys. You might be getting some question, right? like how do you know all these methods, guys? There is no shortcut to know these methods. So first thing is you can browse, or else like simply open the doc and read, guys. Without this doc, we no one doesn't know anything, right? Simply type Python OS, right, documentation. So before you work on something is have some patience. Nothing happens in single day, guys. Nothing will happen. Take some time. Look at this document, guys. So the way like we have Java documentation, right? Java API doc, guys. So it's just like README. So when you install any software, right, it has some README file, right? So we read that in general. I'm not sure whether you have the habit or not, but in general, like we do that, right? Whatever you install, right, it has some README file just like this. So if you have time, just read this. I'm not asking you to mug up everything. Is you'll get to know. See, so os.chdir, right? os.getcwd, get current working directory. You learn lot of different things, guys. You learn, so right, in the Linux, like with the command called as like set command to get environment or env. And coming to Python, environ, it will display all the environment variables like this, a number of things, guys. So just have some patience, right? Just read this. Take some time, guys. In the real time, no one will like make you force you to write the code immediately, guys. You'll have ample time to work on some particular requirement. That's it. It might be for you or for anyone. So no one like will push you to write the code and ask you to get the code in half an hour, 1 hour. You have a lot of time. So depending on the task, all it is. Based on this, like read this doc, understand. So I don't say that like you have to mug up all these things, but when you really start working, you'll memorize all these things, guys. It happens. So I being the developer, guys, like I memorize at least 80 to 90 libraries that I worked easily in more than 100 also. Why? Because I worked in different domains, in the area of networking, in the area of automation, in the area of testing, in the area of like currently I'm in the area of machine learning, data science. Like this case, if you take each and every domain, you can at least you'll be, memorize at least 10 to 15 libraries. That's it, guys. So it makes almost like 100 libraries, not more than that. More than that, right? It's not a big deal, right? And get login name. Say like you want to list all the files in the current directory. You want to list all the files, right? Uh, Current directory. So list all the files in the current directory. So right, the method is like simply a os dot list dir. But in the production case, like we don't write this simply. So right, I need to process something, right? I write some for loop for some meaningful file in. So voice dot list again, guys. As I told you, don't type anything manually, guys. Just so play with your fingers. Voice dot just list, hit the tab. It will be autofill, right? And then colon indentation print file. That's it. So it will list all the files in the it will list all the files in the current directory. So it will list all the files in the current directory. Let us run this. It is going to list all the files. So these are the files in my current directory. So we have worked on these files and then dictionaries, exceptions, right? So these are all the files in my current directory. And how do I get to know, guys? So just take this. First of all, Google will get some help, or else even Control F. You can check here, guys. So what is the meaning of dot? Dot is a current directory. So make the habit of reading this, guys. Make the habit of reading this documentation. At least some help. You'll know a lot of things. So for example, say like you don't have the internet and still you want to do this. So what's the way to do? So we have offline help. Help of, right? Help of, simply type uh, right, os dot the name of method is list. So right, getting some meaningful information. Path equal to none. So what does it mean? So nothing but it's current directory. It's a current directory. If you don't define anything, it is current directory. Right, yes. Now say like you want to get all the files from the D drive. So I want to get all the files from the D drive. Files from D drive. You want to get all the files from D drive, for example. So just the same program, but just define the path, guys. So just define the path. It's same program, but just define the path. That's it. You can cross check here, guys. Round bracket open, it's not display already. Yeah. And then like here, just define the path D and then this. So it will display all the files in the D drive. You can check, guys. So these are my folders in the D drive. So these are the folders in my D drive. The folders, files, everything is. And one more thing, list directory means don't be an assumption that it will list only directories, everything. So this is equivalent to nothing but ls command Linux. So right, this is equal to ls in Linux. That's it, guys. Hope you got what I'm saying, right? You can just execute the code, guys, and do let me know. Like if any questions, like before that, like, I'll talk about few more methods. So these are most frequently used things, guys. You can just like skip this, and I can ask you to say that like just you can refer this, but it doesn't help you much. You have to know the importance of this library. You have to know the importance of this library, right? And for example, say like you want to delete the file, you want to delete some file. All right, guys. Let me take this. Let me take some file. Real estate. Let me take the backup of this. So like I want to delete the real estate file. Let us see this. So what is the command, guys? And what is the Linux command to delete the file? In the Linux, guys, like we use the command called as rm, rm-rf, the most powerful flags with the method, with the function. I mean with the command rm n-rf, r for recursive, so f for forcefully. It will delete any kind of file, right? The most powerful command across the Python program, right? I mean in Linux. And coming to Python, guys, we don't have such command, so you have to write some function, right? I'm going to write os dot. So the method is either you can write remove or you can go for unlink. Let's take a real estate dot cs. I want to delete this file. So cross check, guys. Now currently I didn't execute the program, so the file is existing. So the file is existing. Now let us execute this. So cross check this, it got deleted. Right now I don't have this file, it has been deleted. So permanently we don't have the recycle bin concept areas. So we don't have any such recycle bin concept here. Hope you got what I'm saying, right? So this got deleted permanently. It will delete it, guys. All right. And say like this, for example, say you want to display current date and time. So display current date. Got it, guys, what I'm saying? So now can you write a program, guys? So can you write a program to delete all dot txt files in your current directory? To delete all dot txt file. Let's take like let's see, taste. Okay. So files in your current directory. So just can you write a program to delete all dot txt files in your current directory? So right, to delete all the files, right? Yes, just write the for loop. So just we are going to combine everything is right. So just first of all, cross check if you have any text files or not. CSV means Lohit. So that is one of the file extension, right? It stands for comma separated value. CSV is one of the format. It means like comma separated value. So right, if you open this file in the notepad, you can see that all the lines, like each line contains comma only. So each line contains comma. So each line contains comma. So got it, Lohit. It's right. CS just like TXT. So CSV is comma separated value. Now, what is the question that I'm asking is? So write a program to delete all again, guys. Before remember, guys. So if you're going to delete something, now this is lab session. That is okay. But in the production, guys, just take the backup all the times. Backup will help you a lot, guys. So what is the meaning of backup? So just copy, Control C, Control V. So where whatever you do, yes, why? Because you maybe hang the backup or not, it will help you. So right, just take the backup and then do. So all right, guys. So now write a program. So just I'll give 2-3 minutes of time, guys. Right. So now write a program to delete all .txt files. So just first of all cross check in our folder. So whether you have any .txt files or not. If you don't have, just create some blank files and cross check. And cross check, guys, right? So write a program to delete all .txt files. So in the current directory. All right, guys, do let me know once you have done this. Hope the task is clear, right? Hope the task is clear. What I'm asking. So just write the code, guys, and do let me know once you're done. So how do you cross check, guys, like whether your program is working fine or not? So just go to directory and cross check whether all the files, txt files, are been deleted or not. So first ensure that you have some txt files, some files, .txt files, and just write the program, right? So I'm waiting for, I'm here, guys. So just try and do let me know if any questions. First try it out, guys. Might be sometimes you will fail. So that is for sure. It is not an issue. So first try, guys. Trying is more important, right? So whether you fail or not, that's secondary. But try. So what I'm asking is write a program to delete all .txt files. So just you're going to combine both, nothing much, right? So let me just write the code. Could not able to import voice. So I'm not sure, Srinivas, but basically it should work. It will work. So right, but again is the common mistake that you normally make while writing the code is, so when you are saving the file, so when you save the file, don't simply save with os.py. Hope this is clear. What I'm saying is it's strictly followed. You have to strictly follow this. So at least 10-20% like of the participants will make the mistake. So why? Because you're not supposed to save with some existing library name. So the file name should be something different, guys, not equivalent to the library name. So is you have the library, right? Take some other name, guys. Don't take the library name. So alright, guys, if you're going to work on math library, don't try the program with math.py. Take some other name. So all right, and take some other name, guys. Like again, I'm repeating, guys. So when you save the file, don't simply write os.py. It will disturb this current program as well as other programs too. You'll not be able to execute like number of programs which are dependent on this OS. So don't save with this, save with some other name. Hope you got what I'm saying, right? So all right, guys. And then so Srinivas, can you just cross check once again. Right, it doesn't work, Sai Kalyan. So might be if that is one file, it works, but it's not. What I'm asking is to delete all the files. So what I'm supposed to? So first of all, write the code. Right, for file in os.list directory. So since I'm the current directory, not defining any path, right? If file dot ends with, if file dot ends with. So file is nothing but a string, right? So file dot, so right, ends with, if file dot ends with a dot txt. So right, and then so os dot, so what is the name of method? So remove end file. That's it, guys. So hope you got what I'm saying, right? So it will delete all the .txt files. So I'm not executing my program, guys. Why? Because I have like nodes in the same folder. So it will be removed unnecessarily, but I'm not running this code, but I can just, and before whatever you do, guys, take the backup. It will be helpful for you. So that is the first thing that we follow in the production is normal while working in the real time in the production. So whatever you do, take some sort of backup. It will help you at some point. So right, like this. So right, you can just cross check in our systems, guys. I'm not running this. Why? Because I have like my few set of files that I'm supposed to share with you. I'll talk about, but you can just run this code, right? And cross check, guys, and cross check whether the files have been removed or not. You can just run this code and do let me know, guys. So right, and I'm adding some more validation, right? So right, and writing like this end. I'm adding one more validation. Os dot path dot is file. So if it is a file, then only do this. So I'm just writing two conditions, right? This is if the file is sending the txt, in the file, whatever like in the for loop that we have, it is a file. In the Linux case, everything is a file. So even though there is directory, so everything is file for Linux. Linux doesn't know anything. So other than that. So all right, guys. So just you can run the code and cross check, guys. You can just run the code and cross check. So do let me know if you're able to run the code, guys, and cross check. And do let me know like if it is working fine. So and do let me know, like if it is running fine, is cross check, run the code and go to the folder and cross check. So whether the files are been deleted or not. Right. And Hazim Musam, like what is this? So this is one more validation. So right, normally guys, let me show. So OS dot path dot. So again, guys, like in this, like there's certain other methods like C. So I can check whether something is directory or not. I'll take some other example. So Hazi will understand. I'll take some other example, not initial. I'll take some other example. You'll understand that clearly. So all right, guys. There is no way. Unfortunately, I'm right unable to see one number. Ishwar, right? There is no other way. Ishwar, it will be deleted permanently. So right, that's what I'm saying. We don't have any such concept called recycle bin. So it will be deleted permanently. Right. I will come to that. What is file? I'll come to that in the next example. So in the next example, I'll come to that. But it will be interesting as this is the real-time scenarios, guys. So just with listen to, we don't write the complete real-time code. So in the real-time, the production like this, all these things at some point. In the interview point of view, the questions can be asked. Can you name some ways methods so that you have used? If you really work on this, I can at least say 10 to 15 methods. Why? Because I worked on this. And that is the most important one in general. So right guys, so, the interview he won't ask like what is voice dot list dir. He'll simply ask you, can you name some voice methods, voice library methods that you have used. His intention is just to know whether you worked on that or not. That's it. So right guys. And now say like similarly, so I had a method called so voice dot mkdir. So what is mkdir guys? So mkdir, right? It is ends with. So the one who just pinged at last, and who is that? It is uh, Vamsi Krishna. Just cross check. That is ends with. You missed ENDS. You missed S. Cross check that Vamsi Krishna. All right. And right, like say for example, say test dir. And how do I create the directory programmatically? Guys, like this. So just running this and cross check in your right. I just like told I will be explaining about is file, the one who just asked. Sridham, like I told a couple of times, I'll be explaining that in the next example, you'll understand. So right, and just focus on this. So right, voice.mkdir, like cross check is in the folder whether the directory has been created or not. So just cross check here. It is created, and you can check it. You can check the timestamp as well. It has been created, right? Yes, like this. Right. So, right, and how to get the file name, Ravi Shankar, it's not clear. So, but how to get the file name means I am not understanding like what exactly you want to get. Right, we're listing all the file. If you want to get the only file name, you open the file. Right. So, all it is, and here there's a way to create the directory. And if this is done, guys, now write a program. So, can you write a program? So, to create 100 directories. So, write a program. So, write a program. So, to create 100 directories in the below format. So, in the below format. So, write a program to create 100 directories in the below format like this. So, all right, the name of first directory is dir1 and say dir2, right? And say dir3, and say dir3 like this up to like I want to create all the directories still up to dir100. Hope this is clear what I'm saying, right? When I run the program, so I need to have 100 directories like this, 100 directories in this form. Can just write out guys and do let me know if any questions, but first try it. Yes, the one who just asked Vishnuvardhan, yes, it is creating the directory. That's the reason like we had this, right? It will create the directory, cross check again like in the folder, so whether that has been created or not. So right, I given all these things like in my assignment case. I can just work on it. So whatever like I'm telling this, like I given all these things in my assignment. So if you have time, guys, like after this session, you can just go through this. So whatever like I have given, explain, like I have all these things much in detail, guys. So because of time constraint, like I cannot explain each and everything, right? But like cross check this if you get time, guys. I given almost like in detail. So it's not like prime number or Armstrong number, but the realistic is examples which are generally used in the production. You can just see this. Yes, Vanita. Yes. So right, yes, just write the for loop. So for this, just write the for loop. Right, for while in range of say 1, 101, right? And then os dot and mkdir. So this is for one single directory, right? So I want to get like 100 directories. And the notation is like this: dir plus str. Why? Because object should be of same type. And then well. So let us cross check what will happen if I run like this. So right, so I'm reading each name above, and then I'm just creating the name dynamically. So this is a common mistake that we normally make while when we write the code. So when we write the code like this, guys, it throws error. It is throwing error. So when we write the code like this, it will throw error. So why? Because objects should be of same type. Object should be of same type, right or wrong is. So I can add two numbers. I've shown this yesterday or day before yesterday. Object should be of same type, but not the cross product, right? So for that is an str of that's it, guys. So run this code and cross check. So got executed. So check in this folder. Oops. So the directories are being created. So day 1, day 2, like all the directories are being created. So up to 100 directories are being created. Alright, guys. So just creating the directories. So and say like you want to remove the directories, right? No need to increment. Yes, sir, Ravishan, it's not required increment. So it is not like C for loop, right? In C like with increment, but coming to Python, it is just going to read whatever that is there in this. That's it. It increments by default. So when it reaches limit, it comes out of the loop. That's it. And say like similarly, like you want to remove similarly, you want to remove the directories. So just like this, mkdir rmdir. So it will remove empty directories. It will remove empty directories. I created and then cross check. So all the directories are being removed. All right, guys. So you'll enjoy, guys. Like you'll enjoy really working with libraries in the production wherever it is. So just like even you can build applications, guys. You can build UI tools. So just like calculator, notepad, wordpad kind of things, you can build the programs as well. So a lot of things are there too, guys. It depends on your interest. If you're really interested, guys, you can learn lot of different things. I can teach Python at least for 3 months. I can teach Python for at least 3 months, taking everything: how to connect to remote servers, how to design some applications, how to create some calculator or notepad kind of like how to do some web application. Everything is, but it's not required. Why? Because you are already into Python, guys. So just start playing with this. You learn different things. Or Ravishankar, only that file will be deleted. So whatever you want to delete, like we just write something like this, only that file will be removed. Since I'm writing in the loop, all these things have been created. If you want to delete one particular file, just write this. The only that gets removed. Right. There is a question from Babuji. So he wants to delete the files in some particular directory. So let us see this. Let us see this case. Can we use to delete? Yes, waste dot remove, and you are supposed to give the name of the directory. So right, you're supposed to give the name of directory, right? And say like if you write like this, guys, let us see. So and where the files will be created. So actually it will be created in the current directory. This gets created in the current directory. So this gets created in the current directory. But say like I want to create in the D drive. So like create directories in the D drive. So create directories in D drive. So right. And here after this, say like this is the path. Right. So path equal to, let's take D drive. So access denied. Why? Because so the directory might have opened, cross check the one who just pinged. So that the folder might have opened Amanjit, right? Amanjot. So just cross check the directory might have opened. So that might be the reason. So cross check once again, then close that. Or the directory is already existing. So if you create the directory on the top of that, so on the existing, it will not be. Cross check whether that is opened or not. All right. So now you want to create the directories in the D drive. So what I'm doing is, this is my path, right? This is my path. So after this, I'm writing os.ch directory path. That's it. Now let us cross check. Right, executed. Let's check in the D drive. So all the directories have been created. So the one who just asked, right, Babuji. So just like you're supposed to write like this, path equal to, and then, so what is the meaning of this? I'm changing the directory. It is just like CD in Linux. It is just like CD in Linux, right? In CD or in the Windows DOS, we have CD, right? Just like that. Opening in this folder and navigating to this. So right now I want to remove, just like you want to remove, I'm writing mkdir, rmdir. Let me just do this once. Already, this, sorry, I'm just pasting the complete code, guys, and so even let me paste the code in Notepad so that makes more sense. And even I'm pasting the code here, guys, you can just run and check. So everyone, you can just run and check. You can just run the code and check, guys. So this is like what practically we do, guys. In regular automations, we do all these things. In regular automations, like I do all these different sort of things. So all it is. So I pasted the code. Is not open, then why that error? Right, might be it has been opened. Say one more reason is, right, your process is currently accessing that. So one way is just reboot your system and run that. It should work. So just reboot your system and say you get only you get the permission in only in the scenario where if the directory has been accessed by some other resource. Just remember that. Got it right, Amajit? So looking at that, we can understand permission in it. So why? Because it's been accessed by some other different resource. Right, simple thing. Right, guys. I pasted the code. Even let me paste the code in Notepad, guys. So might be for initially it will be slow. So even I'm pasting the code. So I think the chart window is not like properly formatted. So but there's a link. So whatever like I explained, like I pasted the code, you can just run this and check, guys. All right. So I'm giving like a couple of minutes, guys. Like you can just run this and check. And apart from these, guys, like take some time and go through all these things, guys. You will really learn a lot of different things. So right, all like realistic whatever like we do, like I given everything in small pieces. It's not very big program, but you can understand this. At the bottom, even I given the solutions here. At the bottom, I given the solutions too. You first write by yourself. If you're unable to get that, now look for the solutions. Right, guys? Right. This is what I'm saying. Let me paste the link as well. Right. Let me paste that, Ravi Shankar. No issues. Uh, Someone might have done unknowingly, not an issue. Let me paste the code. Guys, please don't cut that. Even I don't have any access to uh, even like log this one. So please don't cut that, guys. Please copy it. It's my request. So libraries, guys, as I told you, I can spend days of time. So I can spend days of time on this, but like with the time crunch, like with the, so we're running behind the time, guys. But if you get time, you can open that link and you can play with that, guys. You can really play with that. So all right, guys. One more question. So please focus here, guys. So please focus here. For example, say like you want to create. So how do you create the file in Linux? So you want to create the file in Linux. So you want to create the file in Linux. So this is my Linux box. So you want to create the file in Linux. How do you create? So cat or touch, right? Couple of multiple ways are there. So touch like simply abc.txt, right? Or even cat commands or even vi, right? Empty file like this, right? Yes, you can just open way and you can close it, or different different options. So right, this is the empty file. You can check the size. It is empty, guys. Nothing is there. Cat and ABC. So it is empty. Oops, I think it's already there. Right, something like touch and say ABCD. So dot txt. Cat ABCD dot txt, like it is empty. So nothing is there. All right, guys. And also like you want to create same empty file in Python. Empty file in Python. So you want to create empty file in Python. Right, guys. You want to there are multiple ways to create the empty file, guys. So there are multiple ways to create the empty file. So one way is using the regular approach with the file handling. So right, simply write object equal to open, right, and then say abcd dot txt and w for write mode, and then you are going to close this immediately, like without having anything. So right, it's nothing but empty file. So there's a way to create some empty file. This is a way to create empty file. So cross check in our local folder. So right, so where am I? Yes, like let me move this. I'm D drive. Let me change this directly. Yes. So and then like let me write once again. So cross check in the D drive. So all sorry, in this J2K folder, ABCD, the file has been created. So if you check the file, it's empty file. Yes. So or else like we have one more library called as pathlib. So empty file can also be created with a library called pathlib. You can just cross check, guys. Even I given that in examples in my examples too. So empty file can also be created. Empty file can also be created. So using so library called as pathlib. Just explore this later if you get time, guys. There's a question from right Shoibullah Khan. So how to rename the file? How to rename the file? So let's take example, guys. Let us see. So now you want to rename this file abcd.txt. All right. And how to rename the file? Simply os dot right, and then rename is a method, and then so abc. This is a source, right? So and then you want to rename with after renaming. So after some meaningful days, something like this. So just run this code, you can cross check. So right, and then here after renaming, so it has been modified. We'll explore, guys. Just open this doc after some time, guys. If you're really interested in this, right after this, just open this doc. I already like showed the method to understand this. Open this. Every library contains documentation, guys. Every right, Priyanka, not an issue. Just open after like half an hour, like it will be open. So right, I think because of bandwidth issue, like I'll check that, but like might be after like couple of minutes open that. So that should be fine, not an issue. So all right, Kanita. Yes, where are we? So we're talking about this. And guys, once again, I'm saying, guys, if you're interested, can just at least if you get them, you just compare, guys. So this is the, and you can just think about the code and you can write your own code. If you got stuck, you can just look at my solutions, which are given at the bottom, like solutions here. So all right, guys. And like this, you can spend days of time, guys. And before going to some other topic, so right, what is the ease file? The question is like, what is ease file, right? Something like this. I will show this. In this folder, guys, like even like in this J2K, like I have file folder as well as files, right? Wrong is. So I have files as well as folders. As I have like files as well as folders in this. So right, like I have say like couple of folders sort by, just create like one more, right? Something like this. Dir2, like say like a couple of directories. Now say I want to just display only directories, nothing else. I just want to display only directories, nothing else. So right. So what I normally do is I'll be writing like this for file in. So os dot list dir, right, and if os dot path dot is dir, if it is directory, so then only display the file, that's it. So what this is just like ls command is, it will display everything. So if you run the code, sorry, is directory, I'm supposed to give this, it's my typo. If the file is a directory, then only it gets. Now guys, it is not displaying everything, it is just displaying two directories, that's it. Why? Because this is my condition. Oops, sorry. Yes, this is my condition. So display only directories, display. So display only directories. So display only directories. That's it, guys. And similarly, no, Nisha, it's just for a practice. I insist everyone to check, but it's for a personal practice. It's for all. So, right. All right, guys. Yeah. Now say just like this, I want to display only files. So if you observe these guys, like even like a directories as well as files, right? I just want to display only files. So how do I do that? Right. Just let us see. I think I missed something. Yeah. Just like this. Just like this. Now cross. So and just like this is file. Now it is going to display only files, not the directories. If you cross check, guys, it is displaying only files. Got it, guys? What I'm saying? Hope this is clear what I'm saying, right? So this is the one who just asked in the previous program. I told there itself. I will talking about this separately. This is where I'm talking about this. So you want to display only directories. I'm validating it. So these are called as validations. These are called as validations. All right, guys. All right, and like this. And this is clear, right? So in the assignment link, the one who just ping, just replace the number. That's it. So Bindevi, just replace the number in the place of 3. Can just replace the number with 2. You're going to get that. So all right, guys. So and these are about like a few libraries, guys. Right, like OS and math, and even like I talked about. I give a number of examples here, like how to copy the files from one path to another path, like to get the size of the file. You can just play with these guys. You can just given all the required things, how to pull the required information from, like to get the current username, to the current date and time. So what's your OS name, yesterday's date, tomorrow's date. So about your utilization, like you want to know about your hard disk size, utilization of C drive or D drive or temp, like right, even the CPU utilization. I given a lot of things, guys. Just refer this if you get time. All right, guys. Now, let me talk about one small concept, guys. It's like pretty small, nothing much in this. So, right, in C language, so how we start the function? So, user-defined function, if you remember. So, in C, so like how you start user-defined function. So, we start. So, take something like this display. So, my writing is not that much good here, guys, because of, I mean, I'm writing using that tab. So, right, display. So right, and in C, the function starts with what name? In C, the function starts with, so the function body starts with void keyword. So right wrong is, so the function body starts with the void keyword, void, and then the name of function is display, right? And select I'm passing two values, 1, 2. Since I'm passing two values, so I'm going to write int a comma int b, all right, and what next? Floor bracket. So let's take something like int c equal to a plus b, something like this, right? And like a close, right wrong is, there's a way to write in C language. So there's a way to write in C language. So and coming to Python guys, and coming to like we write in the similar approach. So we write in the similar approach. So right, but with minor differences. With minor differences. The calling function will remain same. The calling function will remain same. Right, 1 and 2. But here it starts with a def keyword. So def for definition. So def and then display. So def and then display. Say like I have 2. That's it. So one is stored into A. Why? Because I don't have the concept of intent, right? Nothing as such, right? And then indentation. And if I give indentation, like I'm going to have the space. C equal to like A comma B. And print C, like it depends on your logic, what you wish to write. That's it, guys. It's simple, guys. I just normally compare. If you have written type, like if you have written anything, yes, I can write even written also like this. Just like this. Now you want to return this like right, c equal to a plus b. In return c, you want to return back the value c, return c, and then something like total equal to this. So n print total. So even like we have the return here, right? Return is common. If you want to return anything, like I'm going to write return. If you don't want to return anything, like I don't write. That's it. So all right, guys. So nothing much in this, guys. Normally, I don't give importance to this sort of concepts. Why? Because it is just a matter of syntax. If you Google will get this, but the more focus more on building your logic, building your logic. And remember, guys. So and right, and if you're really interested in this, so first be comfortable in Python. And right, hacker rank. Hope you might have seen this site, right? So try solving solutions in this. So first of all, like the number of questions, ready-made solutions also. So try solving this. Nowadays in the interviews, guys, the one who are preparing for interviews, so they're giving hacker rank link and they're asking you to solve the link. That's it. So 1, 2, 3 questions. If you get time, guys, once you're comfortable, so right, like try solving questions in this hacker rank of any language, guys. That can C or C++, Java, it doesn't matter, or Python. So just like this is for the developers, will improve logical. Initially takes some time, guys, but you can look at the solutions, right? You can just understand, but try to solve those. It will really helpful for you. Right, question from Galaxy. So someone has given some mobile number name, it's I guess. So Galaxy G6. So it should follow by colon or semicolon. It is colon. Indentation, right? Indentation like is colon. So Galaxy, right? So it is colon. Alright, guys. So now in Python, guys, in Python we call this as function definition. Basically, we call this as a definition, or in general. Let me write it here. So in Python we call that as definition. So all right, or we call that as a function, right? Some people call that as subroutines. Some people call that as subroutines, or even some call that as like submodule. Anything is in this. So just a notation. That's it. Different languages, different names. That's it. It means the same. Like how to write the code? Let me. And what is the necessity of writing definitions, guys? So for the reusability purpose. So for the reusability purpose, right? Nothing, right? It's for the reusability purpose. User defined, right? Let me write. So user defined one. Yes, yeah. It is for the reusability purpose. Nothing much. Right. Yeah. So displays the name of function. So displays the name of function and passing two values. As I told you, it starts with the def keyword in display. All right, and then now you are going to pass a comma b, and then giving colon is must. So c equal to a plus b, and then like you can print c here, or else let us see, or else you can execute this. You can check the output here, guys. So what is the output? 30. Now say you want to return this. Now say you want to return this. So just making one more program of this. So now say you want to return this. So right, and then I'm going to write user defined. Right. So now you want to return this, simply write in the place of print, you are going to return this. So return C. And since you are going to return this, you have to catch this total equal to, right? So and print total. And print total. That's it, guys. So run the code and check. So two different ways. Either I can print in the function. It is simple, guys. We don't have in C. When I remove prototype with prototype without prototype, nothing is such, yes. No point of confusion. Directly we pass something, in whatever like we pass, it gets stored here. That's it. So called as fixed arguments. Fixed arguments. So called as fixed arguments. It is called as fixed arguments. So what happens if you pass 30 here? So everyone, guys, please just look at my screen. So what happens if you pass 30 and then run the same code? So unequal arguments. I'm passing three values, but I have two parameters here. I'm passing three values. I have two parameters here. What will happen if I write the code like this? It will throw error. So why? Because the display function takes two positional arguments, but three were given. So right, I have only two, but three were given, like which is unequal. So which is unequal, right or wrong, guys? It should be always equal, right? So the same thing, like if in just like this, if you write here like comma C also, it will throw error. So why? Because like I'm passing two, but three were expected. I'm passing two, but three were expected, right or wrong, guys? It should be always equal in length, then only it works. Simple thing is. Now like let us see some other option for this. Right, and then user define 3. So instead of writing like that, guys, now you want to make like, now what is the output of this code? So what is the output of this code if I write like this? So what will be the output of this code? So the output of this code. So what is the output of this code? The output of this code, hope you're able to see my screen. I'm not passing any values. I'm not passing any values. So what is the output of this code? It will throw error. So why? Because it's unequal, right? So same type error. So now what is the turnaround for this? Let us check. So let us check this. So what is the turnaround for this? If you try to run this code, guys, it will throw error. So why? Because I'm not passing any parameters, right, guys? Now we have to take some default. Let us, if I write like this, I'm going to take a equal to 0 and b equal to 0. So this is nothing but these are called as fixed arguments. So these are called as, sorry, default arguments, called as default arguments. Now run the code. So it will display 0 and 0. Let us take even c also, c equal to 0. It can be any value, guys. I just have defined 0, but you can take anything, number of the string depending on the concept. You can take 0, you can take 110, it doesn't matter at all. You can take anything. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just making it as default. That's it, right? Now what will happen if you run the code? All three zeros. It, right? And then if you pass 10, so what is the output here? So it will return 10 0 0. And in this context, it will return 0 0 0. And the same thing here is like, say, just like this, and you have written display 10 20, right? So what is the output here? 10 20 and 0. And if I write display 10 20 30, what will happen is, so what will be the output here? So it is 10 20 and 30. Right, guys? Hope this is clear, right? What I'm saying. So now it's simple. It's simplified here compared to the languages. So even like I worked in C, guys, I worked in Java, I worked in mainframes. Finally moved to Python later after some time. So because I can map this to any domain, right? Guys? All right. So this is clear, right? So any use case, guys, like which I have used already. So which we have already used this. Any use case of this which we have already used. So any scenario which we have used this. So we started using this from day one is some example, right? So let's take the print. So what is syntax of print? This is the actual syntax of print. I give the values. If you remember, I never used any slash in, right? I never used any slash in the program, right? Wrong, guys. So start from the day one till this minute, I didn't use any slash, but in C, like we normally write slash all the times. So why? Because it's already been defined here. It's already been defined here in separate. Normally, guys, if you write 10 20, so in who told print to have the space in between this output? And who told print to have the space? So why? Because it is already been defined here. It is already been defined here. Yes, Hazi, yes, same like that, right? It is already been defined here, separately space. So 10 20, this is a default, right? If you want to change the separate equal to, like if you give star, and you are going to get the star. In the if you have some space, if you give more space, you are going to get what it depends, like whatever you give. So getting my point is change the default behavior. So in all these examples, like use this concept of default one is we use this concept. All right, guys, any questions in this? Any questions? So fixed arguments and default arguments. So yes, no, no, yes. No, Nabi, it is same. So Python is cross-platform language. It is not only for Windows or Linux, it's for all the operating systems that are available. All I guess. So like this, and as I told you guys, like there is one more type of arguments. Right, someone is asking my salary, guys. It's not much required, right? But you'll get good package, guys. That's for sure. So all I guess. And then tomorrow is our last day, guys, like for the Python programming. And what I mean to say is like tomorrow, like we're going to discuss about the databases. So normally in my regular sessions, guys, I'll spend most of the times. Someone is asking about the flow control statements. So please refer my recordings. The one who just asked, Rajesh. So please look at my previous recordings. You will get. I explained in detail. So all right, guys. And tomorrow, guys, for the databases, like I asked, like I mean, a couple of things from you. So I just everyone to install MySQL community downloaded in your systems. So I insist everyone to have MySQL SQLite is there, but it's lightweighted. So Amanjo, it's lightweighted. Even you don't get the feel that you write some, you do some DB operations. So right, and MySQL, I'll give the link, guys. Right, and just open this. If that is already installed, that is okay. So for the ones who didn't install, guys, let me share the link. Everyone, guys. So even the one who is in the YouTube, right? I request everyone to install. So right, like why? Because I don't like give time in the classroom, guys. It's waste of time basically, right? So it's waste of time, right? So just like this is the link, right? And before this, even I have given some GitHub link as well. So let me open this. Everyone, guys, like even I given the doc, I given the doc as well. Right, MySQL steps. So everyone, guys, including the ones in the YouTube. So I request everyone to open this and follow this. So just download this, guys. Just download this. I request everyone to follow this. So the ones like using Mac, even I don't use Mac, but you can just refer in the Google. Like you'll get steps directly. So I given this GitHub link, guys. Just open this, and tomorrow I'll be sharing more and more docs in this, and it will permanent. You can open this at any time. So all right, guys. And in this again, guys, like even like YouTubers and here, so please open this MySQL link. So and then all right, I given each and every step in detail. It's just like some software. Open this link. So where to click and all. I given this. So in detail. So just like follow this doc. So just follow this doc. I given everything step by step. Yes, I given everything step by step. So follow this. Where to click. Follow this. And tomorrow, guys, like I request like not to talk in, I mean, in the session. Why? Because I spend at least like half an hour, like I mean, the ones who didn't install. But for tomorrow's session, guys, I insist everyone to have this in their system. I given like even how to validate, guys, after installing, how to cross check also, like I given this. So right. So for tomorrow's system, for tomorrow's session, guys, I request why? Because guys, I can talk this orally. I can demonstrate in my session orally, but it doesn't help you guys. If you want to get the feel that like to do all these DB connections, so I insist everyone to have this. So I can take this like oral in my system, guys, but it won't help you much. You have to know all these things. So all right, guys. And apart from this, I'll share more material in this link. So if you're really interested, guys, like keep reading these books, learning Python, and then like one more book, I will add a couple of books in this link. All right, guys. Then all right, guys. Then have a nice day, guys, and then see you tomorrow. But once again, so just ensure that MySQL is installed in your systems. So we have the Python built-in database called as SQLite 3, but even you don't get the feel that you're doing some kind of DB connections. So if you want to get the feel that you're doing some kind of like practical ones, so go for this only. So all right, guys. Then we'll catch up tomorrow and have a nice day, guys. Take care. Have a nice day.